Hey Axis and Allies players, the good captain here. Welcome to a recap of Austria-Hungary's turn 5 and Russia's turn 5. So Austria purchases 8 infantry and 2 artillery. Attacks Albania. And then I think it's a peace swap in Albania. Yeah, it runs right down the middle in terms of expected results. That's it. So main army for the Austrians is Belarus with a Ottoman and Austrian presence in Ukraine. Okay. And then we get to Russia. We buy all infantry. Okay, here we are, combat move. So we are looking at if we didn't do anything and just reinforced our capital or tried to defend territory, we would be offering an armistice at the end of this turn. And our opponent would be accepting. It would be, I think it would be, well, I guess there's an argument for not accepting, but I think it would be worthwhile to accept if we didn't do anything. The Russians are in control of Sevastopol, and by accepting you would seal off this avenue of attack uh, by the British into the rear areas of the CP. So that's good. You would eliminate this, what is this, a 40 plus piece army plus the artillery and air of the Russians without having to fight it. You would be able to turn all your CP forces around and head back without having to go any deeper. You would not have to go the next row deeper in, which is pretty significant. So I feel incentivized as the Russians to make an attack, even though I may not necessarily want to. Again, thanks to the revolution rule. And, pretty obviously, we have 3 places to do this. We have Livonia, where we would have air superiority, but we'd have to fight for air supremacy. Same with Belarus. In Belarus, we have a 31-piece army, whereas in Livonia, we have a 35-piece army. So just a few pieces of difference here. But up here in Livonia, we would be able to bring in the Karelian army with its powerful 7 artillery and 6 infantry. So between the two, Livonia looks like the better if we were going to make a decision up there, unless there's some other consideration to make. It's also important when deciding counter attacks to look at the counter-attacking options of your enemy. So if we went Livonia, you'd have whatever survives plus Poland and then Belarus, right? So Germany goes, then the Austrians go. I'm not going to go too much into that, just want to make a point. And then we have the Fruit Loops over here in Ukraine, which I don't really like attacking multinational forces. Usually they're set up for defense, and that is the case here. It would be our best TUV swing. We wouldn't have to fight for air supremacy, but supremacy, but and the counterattack looks the weakest. But I think in this case, I'm gonna go Livonia. I don't really want. If I went Ukraine, then there's 2 powerful armies that could double tap my capital. Hitting Livonia leads to a generally positive TUV swing. The chance of winning the air supremacy battle is 82% in favor of the Russians. And I really, I'm working with a dead power. Russia is a dead power walking at the beginning of the game if you're playing against a competent CP opponent. And so using a dead power to wipe out core units, in this case German air, seems to me to be the most proper move. So let's move a little bit and see what we got left. So that's everything. And as so long as we win the air battle, '52. Okay, if I did my math right, if we win the air battle, I think we'll score 22 hits, and I think the Germans will get 18, so let's see how close we get to that. Air battle first. Oof. Ah, okay. Okay, we scored right, because all three planes survived. Let's just take a look real quick. Okay, yeah, that is, I had it right. It's either 22 or 23 hits, 50% on either of those. That's the center line of the bell curve, and so it looks like we scored 1.5 kills over. So this did cut into the core units by 1 artillery. Oof, that is a high roll. Let's see, 35 on the way back. That would have been 17 or 18 hits. So that's 3.5 hits over. So let's take into consideration. Yeah, no, we've got air. Yeah, because we have air supremacy. So let's maintain. Should we maintain the fighters? No. Maybe. Wow, this is interesting. Let's take a pause and think about this. Yeah, who am I kidding? We're going to preserve the Air Force, take all infantry losses, and end it in this battle here. Okay, so my reasoning behind not selecting a fighter is that, adding that extra point of defense for an infantry or two is just not as critical as what I can get if, as a Russian player, as being the dominant Air Force now on this front. So yeah, Germans got smashed in the air, but they did better on the ground. So tit for tat. Let's see. Let's place our units. The Russian battleship, of course, not doing anything. That's a useless piece for the rest of the game. So yeah, this will be the end of the capital. Yes, this is the other thing. 15 IPCs. That's a pretty warm number for capture. Uh, it seems that most of my games, the number's closer into the single digits area, and usually, around the five IPC range. So 15 is up there in my experience. Anyway, enough chit chat. Thanks for watching this. All the best from the good captain, and bye bye.